Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise Recap. I'm Griffin Aldrich, and your Boston Celtics have been unfortunately defeated by the Brooklyn Nets with a final score of 113 to 105. Disappointing loss from the Boston Celtics. This was an in-season tournament game, and I know we talk about constantly, in-season tournament games not meaning the most for the Boston Celtics. However, this is a year where having some players on the roster, that extra little money does kind of sound good. So that's one thing that we need to throw out there. And ultimately, just kind of a upsetting loss, lost this one. And the Boston Celtics looked to win this one. This was a promising win for the Celtics. This is one where the Boston Celtics looked to get both games against the Brooklyn Nets and unfortunately did not win. However, you saw it during majority of the game. I mean, the Boston Celtics took the lead in the first quarter with a score of 28 to 22. However, the second quarter really attacked the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics fell short 40 to 25. So really getting outscored in that second quarter. However, in the third quarter, it was pretty much the same from the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets outscored the Boston Celtics with a score of 30 to 24. So again, disappointing two quarters right there. However, the Boston Celtics do come back in the fourth quarter with a score of 28 to 21, but that not be enough with the Brooklyn Nets big scoring quarters in the second and third quarter. And majority of the game, the Brooklyn Nets had the lead. And again, we talked about this the other night too, about the Celtics playing the Nets the first time. The Celtics pretty much had the momentum going forward. However, it was a close game, and this ended up being a loss for the Boston Celtics. So that's one thing to really keep in mind, that this was a game that was not very much competitive. And you see it on the stat sheet too. Michael Porter Jr. had a phenomenal game for the Brooklyn Nets in 37 minutes, had 33 points, 8 rebounds, and shot 61.9% from the field goal. Nick Claxton had a triple-double with 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 12 assists. And other than that, it was pretty much a team win for the Brooklyn Nets, but those two players really having all the momentum. Clowney, you could even talk about him. He had 19 points. Demon had 12 points, but ultimately it really came from Michael Porter Jr., and he was really the guy doing it all for the Brooklyn Nets. And for the Boston Celtics, I mean, Jaylen Brown had a very productive night with 26 points, 8 rebounds, and shot 50%. Had 2 steals along with 4 assists. So he was very productive. And Neemias Queta, who could have probably ended up being your Celtics Nation Rise MVP, him or Simons or Brown, whether if the Boston Celtics did get this win. Neemias Queta in 29 minutes had 16 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, and shot 66.7%. Anthony Simons in 33 minutes had 23 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and shot 62.5%. So ultimately, those were your top 3 scorers, and Pritchard had 13 points, Walsh had 9, and Derek White had 6. Garza also had 7, Shireman had 5. So you saw guys get some minutes. Hugo Gonzalez got 5 minutes, didn't do anything with it. Josh Minot in 7 minutes didn't do a lot with it. Sam Hauser played 14 minutes and had no points as well. So there were a lot of guys that really did not do a lot for the Boston Celtics. Ultimately, it felt like the Celtics were not there, playing on the home court. And I want to say home court, but ultimately, it's a different court for in-season tournament games. But it was just a disappointing loss, and this is one where the Boston Celtics look to win. These are games that you need to pick up. The Boston Celtics, they could prove me wrong, but as of right now, you're not going to get many wins against the stronger teams. So playing against these weaker teams like the Brooklyn Nets, these are must-win games for the Boston Celtics. However, it's not one to, shake your head on. The Boston Celtics are now yet again 500, 8-8, and it was just a rough one. It was a rough one to watch. It was a rough one throughout the game. I mean, this was one where it wasn't competitive a lot of the game, and it's just one that you want to get back. But again, the Boston Celtics got defeated by the Brooklyn Nets with a final score of 113 to 105. And again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.